All right. New draw. Edgar's Coiled Blade. Okay. Interesting. So, okay, sorry, my brain broke for a second there. So initially, this is great. It's good. It's perfect. It's got boost 46 magic attack, 39 water potency is good. The damage is right in line with all of the newer elemental weapons that have been released, including Vincent's recent weapon, Yuffie's recent weapon. It's exactly the same. Well, 1,128% when it's debuffed. Exactly the same amount of damage. No, not higher, not lower. It's exactly the same. It's right in line. 693 magic attack is super high, like super high. Good sigil breaks or good sigil or materia slots with the sigil boost, which is good. I don't know that Sephi even has a. Yeah, that's actually where I'm going, Spring. Yeah, it's a little weird that they gave him a magic water attack. Now, granted, the Tempest is not a very high water damage attack anyways, and it was always more about the debuff than the actual damage, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it is a little odd, and that weapon would not make for a great offhand weapon for this, because that weapon has boost physical attack, which in this case you wouldn't even care about, really, at least not typically, at least. It is cool that he has 2 water potency weapons now that both boost to 39. So, I mean, just with those 2 alone, he'd be rocking, if this was OB10, assuming both were OB10, which obviously that will be a while, but assuming both are OB10, you're talking, what, 58, right? 39 plus 19, 58. So he really only need, like, 1 good boost water potency, and then 1 just 19 one again, and then he's done. I think that's kind of where I'm at, to be honest. I think that if you have Water Tifa already, I'm not sure how much you need this. Like, if you don't have the outfit and you want an Arcanum outfit, the reason why it's good is the same reason why Yuffie's was good, right? Yuffie's was good because she has now 2 weapons with ice that she can run, where she can run this Ice Arcanum outfit with a physical ice weapon and a magic ice weapon. Sephiroth is the same thing now, right? The versatility is why it's good, because if you get the outfit and then have the physical and the water weapons, no matter what the stage is weak to, if it's magic or physical, Sephiroth can cover it then, right? And so that's where the boon is here, where, like, it's the versatility of it all. But in truth, it's just a little bit stronger than Bunny Gloves. I think Bunny Gloves, well, maybe a little bit is underselling it. I think Bunny Gloves is only 850. Let me double check. Yeah, it's 850, right on the nose. So, I mean, yeah, it's significantly stronger than this by almost, when they're debuffed, it's by like 300%, right? So it's significantly stronger than Tifa's Bunny Gloves, like by a wide margin. The only reason that this is so low is because it gives a buff, right? Instead of having like the extra damage, she buffs herself, which is good. But with the Sephiroth magic water weapon, you're probably running the Aonibi, however you say it, in the offhand. So you're probably gonna have like a magic attack buff anyways. And if you don't, like, you can just run Tifa, right? Because if it's water weak, you could run Tifa with her Bahamut Fangs, buff your entire team's magic attack, and then she can also dish out massive amounts of magic water damage. And that's really not that big of a deal. And Tifa also has access to a magic defense debuff as well, if you don't need the magic attack buff, where she can use the Kaiser Knuckles to lower the enemy's magic defense, which then gives this thing the debuff that it needs to max out its damage. It's pretty good. I mean, it's really good. Sephiroth has like really good offhand weapons to supplement this, both with the water resist down Tempest and the magic attack increasing Aonibi, and the what's the other weapon called? The Mithril Katana, I think it is. That does HP and magic ability potency. That also makes for a decent offhand weapon that he can just run in its HP and magic ability potency. That would work just fine. So he's got some really good offhand weapons that can really boost this up to a high level. And again, it's the strongest it's the strongest water damage weapon in the game. This is stronger than Glenn's water damage weapon now. And if I had a lot of Tempest, I think I'd probably consider this a bit more heavily. because the outfit itself is great, right? You're getting Water Blade Arcanum, which is the 35%, which is excellent. And then Physical and Magical Ward, which is the 15% magic and physical defense, which is great. Any bit of survivability on your offensive characters is awesome, especially because you don't have to do anything with this. This is just active, right? Combine this with your high wind upgrades and anything that you get from your materials to just increase your physical and magic defense. This allows, this kind of 15% boost allows you to skip out on holding a less offensive sub-weapon and enables your character to do a bit more like offensive damage, which is great. If I, like I said though, the only thing that I would say is a quote-unquote downside is like, I guess he doesn't have the perfect setup. Like at least Tifa's feathered gloves in her offhand like pair perfectly with bunny gloves, right? It boosts her water damage, it lowers the enemy's magic defense, and then she can, it's a 3-gauge move on top of all of that. And it's also, it's boost attack. It has a focus and magic attack stat. So like everything in terms of that setup does so much in this game right now. And I can actually show y'all really quick. I don't have it set up yet, but I can build it right now. So like this is about, like if I got these up to 110, where they get the final break point, they would get a little bit higher. And I think I could probably get close. 33 for this one. So this one would probably get up to what? Like 30, this would get up to 39. Right, because the last overboost gives the 46. I think OB9 is still up there. Which would only give her another what, 3 points. So then she'd go up to 91 or 93 rather. So she gets close to the 100 points. But these two having less water potency. Well, this one doesn't, but this one having less water potency actually holds her back a little bit. Where Sephiroth doesn't run into this issue now. Right, because Sephiroth gets a boost 46 to 39 with more magic attack and a stronger weapon. So I mean, this weapon is objectively so very good, right? So very good, because like her cap is about this, right? This is about the cap. You could take off one of these and sacrifice some of the water potency, and just go with just physical ability or magic ability potency. You could go you catch my drift, right? Like, but like she would get to 100, but she would get to 100 and have to have all 3 of these in there, where I don't think Sephiroth would, if my math is right, if my math is mathing. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's definitely good. I think that the benefit for Sephiroth is that his outfit is defensive, so it provides a little bit more defensive stats. Where like the magic ability potency 10 is nice, right? Gives me an extra 15% damage, which is cool. But like Sephi's gonna get to 90 or 100 relatively easily with water potency with those two main hand weapons, and like he's gonna get 120% instead of the 110. I don't know. That's nitpicking at that point. But like the reality is like this does enough, right? Like this does enough for water damage in the game right now. It may change down the road, right? Where I need to have more than 6,300 magic attack, and like having an extra sub weapon available might help. But I don't know how worth pulling on this is. If you have magic water, I thought this was going to be physical. I'll be so blunt. I'll be so blunt, because if this was physical and he could rock this with Tempest and have both of them, like the Tempest lowering magic, the water defense, and then being able to just focus in on a straight up water damage weapon, that would be so good. And it's not that this is bad. This is a great weapon. And if you don't have water Tifa, this is absolutely worth pulling on. Just so we're clear. Like, if you don't have water Tifa, like bunny gloves and at a really good overboost, this weapon is going to like lap that weapon in damage. It's not even close. And that's without the outfit. You remember we did the math with the edged wings versus Yuffie's ice weapon, right? Yeah, this one's pretty cut and dry. If you need a water outfit, if you don't have a water arcanum, if you don't have a good upgraded water damage weapon, this weapon is great. Obviously the outfit itself, in terms of just aesthetics, I love this outfit a lot. I think this is great. I think it looks great. The sword itself looks pretty cool. It kind of looks like the for folks that have played Final Fantasy VI or have watched my playthrough, which is over on YouTube if you're interested, it looks like the drill from the tools that Edgar used which is pretty rad, because that was like the one tool that everybody used the most with Edgar. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of like a shout out to the tools that Edgar used to use in the game, which is pretty rad. But they made it in like a Sephiroth way, because remember, most of Sephiroth's attacks are thrust based, so having something that's like this makes sense. So pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. I like this a lot. Great outfit. Outfit itself, I didn't actually say this, but obviously I did actually. We did talk about this, right? 15% is great. 35% Water Arcanum standard. Very good. Very, very good. It's a great banner. Great banner. Nothing else to say. Great banner. In terms of the wish list, first and foremost, Tempest got to be on this, right? Unless you have an OB10, no reason not to include Tempest. Obviously, like I said, the boost physical attack is less useful on a sub weapon or on an offhand weapon. And generally speaking, you want your DPSs not holding your debuffs, right? You want somebody else doing the debuffing for you. But in the situations where that's not possible, it's still good to have this. Additionally, much like when we were talking about Yuffie, on the combats where physical water damage is what you need, it'll be nice to have another water weapon that you can use with your Water Arcanum. That Water Arcanum doesn't care if you're using magic damage or physical damage, right? So that's an extra 35% damage on top of the 700 this is already doing. This is low in terms of damage output itself compared to other elemental weapons, but having a high water resist decrease built into 700% damage is very good. So nothing wrong with that. You want to make sure that's on your wish list. In terms of the other offhand weapons that Sephiroth could use, Aonibia is probably the one that you're looking for the most, just because it gives him the magic attack buff on top of it. There aren't very many other magic damage weapons that Sephiroth has access to. The Mithril Type 0 Katana is the one I was talking about before that does boost magic ability potency, but its magic attack stat's pretty low, so that is a downside, just like Aonibi's attack stat. Magic attack stat is also pretty low. You could look at Blue Bramble, which would help boost the rest of his magic attack. 674 is a very respectable amount of damage. Also gives him an Earth Resist down. This is basically the magic version of Tempest for Earth, so there's nothing wrong with that. In terms of anything else for Sephiroth, there's not a ton here that I would offhand with it, other than Tempest and maybe the Blue Bramble weapon, just to max out magic attack. You could look at the Alloy Sword as well, which would also max out your magic attack, but also give you some lightning potency with an AoE lightning attack, just to kind of like, I don't know, have some diversity, I guess. Doesn't really matter though, whatever you prefer, you can just kind of throw on here. It does look like the Halloween weapons are in here. I'm seeing those. So we'll talk about those in a second here. So that's the two Sephiroth weapons that I would consider. I think I'm probably not including Blue Bramble for myself personally. I'm not super interested in this because I have Earth Vincent super leveled up and I've got Chiron at OB9, I think. So I don't really need another Earth Resist down. Like, it is nice to have options, obviously, but I've got a copy of this already. I don't need two. We'll be fine. So we'll just leave the Tempest on there and we're good to go. I actually would include some of the new Halloween weapons if you haven't already pulled for these, which I imagine most folks, including myself, have not. Mostly because all three of the weapons that are now included, including Crow Familiar, Yuffie's Little Red Wreath, and Kate Sith Witch Broom? Yeah, Witch's Broom. All three of those weapons are very, 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 very strong, right? They do a lot. Especially the Witch's Broom does magic defense down and lightning resist down. This is a great weapon, and it's a great sub weapon for physical lightning users like Zack and Cloud. So I like including that. If you're looking to just max out your Sephiroth, we've talked about this before when it comes to water damage or water potency. There's not a ton of really great options for water potency. So just going through the list, this would max out his magic attack and give you some magic potency or water potency. This is a great support weapon. So if you've got Kate Sith on a team with Sephiroth, this can actually allows you to lower water resist without using Sephiroth, which is great. Lucia has Serpent Eater, which has a 614 magic stat with HP and water potency. Obviously HP is not what everybody likes, but it is something. Orthodox Raven, same thing, little bit lower magic attack, but same R abilities, so whatever one you have higher. Personal Style is the physical attack version of that same exact thing, so HP and water potency again. Zack also has a physical attack version that does boost physical attack and boost water potency. This is great to pair with Tempest. So if you've got Tempest already really maxed out, this will help boost your physical attack the rest of the way up. Give you some water potency as well. Great offhand weapon, great support weapon as well. Noble Collar gets a 643 magic attack stat and boost 46 magic attack and 39 water potency. Very, very good. Tifa obviously does have access to Feathered Gloves, which is 628 magic attack stat and a 62 boost attack, which is great. So if you're not using Tifa in your build, this is a great sub weapon for Sephiroth if you don't already have it OB10. And then other than that, that's pretty much it. When it comes to the magic offhand weapons, that was quite a bit. But obviously there's only 2 boost attacks. There is 2 boost HPs that are really useful, or really usable rather. So I think for me, I think Orthodox Raven is a little bit higher overboost for me. I think it's OB9. So I will include this on here. And then I will also include Feathered Gloves, just because I need one more copy to max this out. And then this would be kind of what my build would look, or what my wish list would look like. I think I'm gonna put Yuffie's, let's go ahead and reset the filter here. I'm gonna put Yuffie's little red wreath on here as well. And that's pretty much it. You could look to build out the rest of Sephiroth. Obviously, this is not like, these 2 sub weapons are really the only 2 that he would need to kind of get himself off the ground. You could also look at magic ability potency. This is kind of where we talk about like adding Electro Cannon is a really good just middle ground. Gives you a bunch of magic attack, gives you a bunch of magic ability potency, really good magic attack stat, just an overall very good weapon. You could also look at Shark Slayer, which does a water resist down for 3 ATB. If you needed a water resist down to pair with your Sephiroth, this is an option as well. But yeah, pretty flexible banner, pretty flexible wish list. It just kind of depends on what you're trying to build. If you're trying to build just for Sephiroth, I would recommend getting a magic attack or HP and ability potency weapon to pair with your new weapon that you're trying to build out. So I would look at specifically either Aonibi, which gives the HP, ability potency, and magic attack stat up, or the Mithril Type 0 Katana, which gives HP and magic ability potency. If you're looking to just try to max out magic attack, there's really only 2 options. It's either Edged Wings, which is this one, which gives boost 46 magic attack, 640 magic attack stat, not bad. Or you can look at the Blue Bramble, which gives 674, 46 magic attack. Obviously useless when it comes to the Earth potency and the Ice potency, but both of those would max out his magic attack stat easily without having to worry about sub weapons. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. There are a couple of other magic attack weapons that you can look at for in terms of just like increasing his magic attack stat if you wanted to run an HP offhand weapon. So you could look at obviously Bunny Gloves. The reason why I didn't say Bunny Gloves to begin with is, like I mentioned before, the water potency is a little bit lower on Bunny Gloves, so it's not quite as helpful as a sub weapon. I think I would rather use Electro Cannon in that slot, because you're going to get boost 4 magic ability potency just from having that weapon OB10 as a sub weapon. So I think that has a little bit more value versus the 13 points of water potency that you're getting from Bunny Gloves. So I wouldn't include Bunny Gloves personally. If you're trying to build out Sephiroth, it's fine. If you've got it at higher overboost and you want to, go for it. But other than that, I think I'd just skip it out. Other than that, this banner lasts until December 4th, which is almost an entire month. So this is not something that you have to rush on, obviously. This one ends on December 4th. This one ends on December 4th. They both end at the same time. So these banners last for a lifetime. Not a lifetime, last for a month. But you don't have to make a decision right now. I would hold tight if I was you. I would hold tight and hang out until you have a good look at what the other 2 weapons are. At this point, the 2 weapons that are left are for Tifa and Cloud, and most people have their Tifa and Clouds very, very built. For somebody that has Sephiroth as their best character, this is probably as close to a must pull as you can get, just because it's a 940% water damage weapon. It's very, very strong. It's magic, so it's nice to have another magic option on Sephiroth, who has had mostly physical damage weapons leading up to this, where the Blue Bramble was the first magic damage weapon that he had released that was not limited since Edged Wings when he came out. Absolutely no reason to rush. May as well wait until the next 2 weeks, get a good idea of what all the banners are. Obviously, as you see, we got 10 free tickets, so we get a 10 pull for free. So if you wanted to just pull on this to get the weapon and get out, you absolutely could, and you could just keep stockpiling crystals. Other than that, I think this is pretty cut and dry. This is a if you need it, pull for it. If you don't. and move on. Pretty easy.